In the early morning hours of July 8, 2022, 20-year-old Jimmie Jay Lee donned his silver dressing gown, a gold cap, and gray slippers before stepping out of his student apartment in Oxford, Mississippi. Uncharacteristically, he left his beloved Pomeranian, Lexus, at home. This was unusual for Jimmie, who rarely went anywhere without her. Just 2 days later, detectives found his abandoned vehicle at an impound lot. Inside, they discovered his bank cards and a key ring, but Jimmie's iPhone was missing. The contents of that phone would ultimately hold the key to unraveling his mysterious disappearance and lead investigators to his alleged killer. Jimmie Lee was a graduate of the University of Mississippi, known for his vibrant personality and extroverted nature. He maintained a close relationship with his mother, Stephanie, speaking with her daily, often multiple times. Their conversations were especially frequent as he prepared for his internship, which was part of his master's degree in social work. Jimmie had completed his undergraduate degree early and with honors, and he was well liked by friends and family alike. He was known for his kindness, his ability to connect with others, and his passion for helping those in need. On July 8th, which was Stephanie's birthday, he called her at 2 a.m. to sing "Happy Birthday." It was a cherished tradition between them, and Stephanie looked forward to it every year. However, after a brief exchange at 7 a.m., he went silent. As the day progressed, Stephanie grew increasingly worried. She reached out to friends and the Oxford Police Department, pleading for a welfare check. Friends gathered outside his apartment, hearing Lexus barking but receiving no response. Surveillance footage revealed that Jimmie had left his apartment shortly after 4 a.m., returned about 40 minutes later, and then left again around 5:58 a.m., dressed in his distinctive attire. It appeared he hadn't planned to be gone long. Tracking his phone's location, investigators noted it pinged at various spots until 7:28 a.m., with the last known locations near Stone Park and Residential College South. Despite this, there were no transactions on his bank accounts since the previous day. The Lee family and law enforcement made public pleas for information, emphasizing that anyone, regardless of background, could help find Jimmie. They urged the community to come forward with any details, no matter how small, that could assist in locating him. On July 8th, a local towing company, Bandit Towing, reported a black Ford Fusion that had been towed from a nearby lot. The car, identifiable by its unique features and license plate, belonged to Jimmie. Inside, detectives found his credit and debit cards, but his phone was still missing. Security footage showed the car heading toward the towing company around 7:30 a.m., but the driver was not clearly visible. This raised further questions about Jimmie's whereabouts and the circumstances surrounding his disappearance. A key witness, Ked Fears, a close friend of Jimmie's, provided crucial information. He had been FaceTiming with Jimmie just before 6 a.m. that morning. During their conversation, Jimmie mentioned he was on his way to meet a romantic interest, having had a falling out with him earlier that night. Despite blocking this individual on social media, they had reconnected, and Jimmie was willing to give it another chance. Ked expressed concern for Jimmie's safety, noting that he had a gut feeling something was wrong. Investigators accessed Jimmie's iCloud and found messages indicating he was indeed heading to meet someone. The account was traced back to Shelton Timothy Harrington Jr., a 22-year-old from a prominent local family. Tim had been living a secret life, concealing his sexuality while engaging in a relationship with Jimmie. This relationship was complicated, marked by secrecy and tension, particularly given the societal pressures surrounding their identities. After their encounter, Tim was seen on surveillance footage at a Walmart, where he purchased duct tape and was later spotted near various locations in Grenada. He returned to his parents' home, where he retrieved a shovel and wheelbarrow, raising suspicions about his activities. The purchase of duct tape, in particular, alarmed investigators, as it suggested a potential intent to conceal something. When questioned by police, Tim initially downplayed his relationship with Jimmie, claiming they were merely acquaintances. However, as the investigation progressed, he admitted to their sexual relationship and acknowledged being near the Molly Bar complex around the time Jimmie went missing. His shifting narrative raised red flags for investigators who began to scrutinize his actions more closely. Despite extensive searches, no trace of Jimmie was found for weeks. The community rallied to raise awareness, organizing search parties and distributing flyers with Jimmie's picture. Local news outlets covered the story, and social media campaigns spread the word about his disappearance. Friends and family held vigils, hoping for any sign of Jimmie, but the days turned into weeks with no leads. The investigation faced challenges, particularly due to the lack of physical evidence. Tim Harrington was eventually arrested and charged with murder, but the case was complicated by the absence of a body. The prosecution struggled to establish a clear crime scene, and the defense argued that without a body, there was no definitive proof of murder. This lack of evidence became a focal point in the trial, with the defense asserting that the prosecution's case was built on speculation rather than concrete facts. The trial was contentious, with the defense attempting to paint Jimmie's private life in a negative light, suggesting that his relationships provided reasonable doubt regarding Tim's guilt. They argued that Jimmie's lifestyle choices and the nature of his relationships could have led to his disappearance without implicating Tim. However, friends and family defended Jimmie's character, emphasizing his vibrant spirit and the genuine connections he had with others. They described him as a caring individual who brought joy to those around him. After a lengthy deliberation, the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict, resulting in a mistrial. Prosecutors announced their intention to retry the case, but the search for Jimmie continued. Tragically, on February 3, 2025, hunters discovered human remains in Carroll County, confirmed to be those of Jimmie Jay Lee. The discovery brought a mix of relief and heartbreak to his family, who had been searching for answers for so long. Tim Harrington was re-indicted for capital murder, with an additional charge of tampering with physical evidence. As the case moves forward, the Lee family remains hopeful for justice, while the community continues to seek answers in this heartbreaking tragedy. The re-indictment reignited discussions about the case, with many in the community expressing their desire for closure and accountability. The story of Jimmie Jay Lee is a tragic reminder of the complexities of relationships, the impact of societal perceptions, and the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of unimaginable loss. As the legal proceedings continue, the Lee family holds on to hope, determined to see justice served for their beloved son. The community stands with them, united in their quest for truth and accountability, as they remember Jimmie and the vibrant life he led.